Hey, my name is Melissa LAINN, and I'm obsessed with all things self-empowerment, self-development, spirituality, and holistic healing to help you navigate this thing called life in a more fulfilled way. Ever felt like you missed the class on how life works? So did I. I'm just a regular girl who grew up not understanding how to create success, where to find fulfillment, or how to live a life that I actually enjoyed. So I went on a journey of self-discovery, and it led me to the realization that everything about living a fulfilling life can be learned. And so the LifeKraft podcast was born. Here, you'll learn how to stop letting life just happen to you and how to begin crafting a life you can actually get excited about. No topic is off limits here, from the scientific to the mystical and everything in between. Difficulties, failures, growth, victories, and more are all real life happenings that myself and our guests will discuss. Think of this as your library to life, where you can tune in whenever you feel like you have no idea what you're doing. Get ready to be challenged and encouraged to craft a life you're actually excited to wake up to. This is the LifeKraft podcast. In this episode of 7 Minutes to Success, we feature Robert Greene, author of the books such as the New York Times bestsellers, The 48 Laws of Power, Mastery, and many more. Robert shares advice on why it's so important to detect toxic people before getting involved with them, and how to do it without becoming paranoid, which I think is so important. So be sure to subscribe to the podcast, leave us a positive review, and let us know just how this episode impacted you. Enjoy.
Best lesson of all. So we can say the different kind of toxic types of people. Most often they're of the narcissistic variety. They're people who are grandiose. They're people who are aggressive, passive aggressive, who feel a lot of envy. There's like deep-rooted insecurities, on and on. There are many types. But the main thing that you want to develop in life is the ability to detect them before you get involved with them. Because the way toxic people have learned, they've learned strategies since they were 6 or 7 years old of how to get power. And they embroil you in dramas. They get into your emotions, right? They entangle themselves in your life. They don't come at you saying, I'm toxic, I'm a narcissist, get away from me. They know how to appear charming. They know how to be interested in you. They know how to be moderately pleasing, etc. They can even be charismatic. You get involved with them, and then it starts to come out, and it's too late because you're emotionally entangled with them. They've got their roots inside of you, and you're sucked into their dramas, and it's really hard to get out, particularly in an intimate relationship. That's the worst of all. The best thing you want to develop in life is the radar to detect them before you get involved with them. And it requires a change in how you perceive people. So it doesn't mean, I don't want people to become paranoid, thinking everybody out there that I'm dealing with could be toxic, because it's only like 5% of the population or whatever is truly like that. But you want to be able to see the signs beforehand, right? And you don't want to judge people based on their words, based on their charming personality, based on their glittering resume. You want to be able to judge their character, what's deep, deep inside of them, right? The things that are not so visible at first glance, right? So you have to train how you think about people. You have to observe their patterns in life before you met them. If this person you're about to get involved in a relationship tells you, all of my wives and girlfriends in the past, they were just such blah, 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 and then you hear that they only lasted a year or so, and it was always their fault, your antenna should go up. Something is wrong here. This person isn't revealing the truth. This probably coming from something within. In my 48 Laws of Power, I talk about infection, where there are people who have an infecting power on you. They're surrounded by all kinds of drama. They continually present themselves as the victim of other people, whereas in fact, they're the ones that constantly draw this drama to them because that's how they survive. And you're going to find yourself involved with them, and it's going to be horrible to get out of the relationship. You're going to feel guilty. So develop the power to recognize them before you get involved. And I have in the Laws of Human Nature tons of advice about that, paying attention to people's nonverbal cues, to A narcissist tends to have a very animated face, but a kind of a deadness in their eyes. They're kind of listening to you, but you can hear that they're actually thinking about themselves, or they're not really connecting to you through the eyes. The face is alive, but the eyes are dead, right? There are signs, nonverbal cues that will show you that you're dealing with someone who's not, I hate the words like sociopathic, psychopathic, but who is, generally very self-directed, right? Mm-hmm. The other thing I have to say is, it's easy to judge and say, oh, the narcissist, the toxic people, but we all have these qualities.
Yes.
We all have narcissistic qualities. We all can be passive aggressive, right? So some of it you can recognize in yourself, and there are the ways to get out of it. But the main thing is to not get involved with these people. If you're involved, let's say you have a spouse or whatever, the best power you can get is the ability to withdraw your emotions from the moment. And God knows that is not easy. It's a day-to-day thing. It's a daily process where you have to tell yourself these little kind of scripts that you tell yourself. It's not me. It has nothing to do with me. It's not personal. They have issues from early childhood that have given them these toxic patterns in life. They're trying to make me feel guilty, but it's nothing to do with me. It's not personal. Over and over and over and over again, every single time. So you have the ability to detach yourself emotionally from them on a daily basis. If you're in a job and you have a toxic colleague or a toxic boss, if you can get away from them, if you can quit your job, if you can move to another part of the office, do it, because it's worth it. It's not worth collecting $10,000 extra a year with this boss, because it's going to damage you emotionally. It's going to take you years to recover. 3 years with a toxic boss, you may never recover. So if you can, quit the job. No job is worth that kind of abuse. It's going to hurt you. It's going to damage you, right? And the same in a relationship as well. If you can't get out, you have to develop a habit of detachment and not taking things personally. And oddly enough, when people sense that in you, like a toxic person senses that they can't push your buttons, it has a powerful effect on them. I'm not saying it's going to cure them, but they thrive on the ability to push your buttons. Mm-hmm. To see you getting upset and angry just makes them so excited in a perverted way. The fact that you're not taking it personally, that you're calm, that you're centered, that you're thinking to yourself, it's not personal, it's going to have a powerful effect on them. It may not end the dynamic, but it will have more of an effect that you want than constantly falling for their ploys and their games and getting emotionally sucked into their dramas.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode. Remember, this is only a segment of the whole presentation. Please follow the link in the description below to listen to it in full. If you loved this episode, please leave a positive review for us and let us know on social media at the LifeKraft what inspired you. We will connect again in the next episode, and until then, keep creating a life you are excited to wake up to.